In the murky rivers and silent lagoons of the savannah, where the water glimmers under the scorching sun, lives an animal many consider slow and peaceful. The hippopotamus. With its massive body and seemingly calm gaze, it appears harmless until someone dares to challenge it. Get ready to witness one of the most underestimated titans of the wild unleash an unrelenting fury, leaving an unforgettable trail of destruction. A buffalo can take on and even kill a lion, but the story is completely different against a hippo. What happened here was a true clash of titans, but from the start, the hippo showed its overwhelming superiority with brute strength and raw power. With its mouth wide open, it made it clear that it could rip the buffalo's head off if it dared to attack. Facing this threat, the buffalo didn't stand its ground and chose to flee before getting hurt. 3 lions approached the river, full of confidence. Suddenly, an enraged hippo appeared and charged at full speed, determined to defend its territory. The lions were caught by surprise, panicked, and ran desperately, looking for an escape. One reacted quickly, jumping back to the bank it came from just in time, while the other 2 swam to the opposite side to escape the beast. The hippo almost caught one of the predators. Its huge jaw snapped shut just inches from the lion as the water churned violently. The lion managed to reach the shore in a sprint, thanks to pure luck, before the hippo could catch it. A second later, and the outcome would have been fatal. A rhino, with the stance of a ruler of the land, had the bad idea of bothering a hippo. A deep roar was enough to strike fear into the rhino and make it aware of the danger. Both are about the same size, and the rhino has tough skin like armor. But anyone who knows hippos knows how aggressive they can be. Without hesitation, the rhino turned and ran away quickly. One evening, a group of lions rested peacefully by a river, enjoying the breeze and perhaps planning their next hunt. Everything seemed calm until an angry hippo suddenly emerged from nowhere, ready to chase anyone out of its territory. The lions stared at the hippo, surprised and horrified, not understanding what they had done to provoke such fury. But they didn't stick around to find out. Within seconds, the peace turned into chaos, and the big cats ran off without looking back, making it clear there was no room for discussion when a hippo demanded respect. A lion was resting peacefully on a rock, unaware that it was being watched from just a few meters away by a hippo, which stared at it patiently and calculatingly. Suddenly, without warning, the hippo launched a surprise attack. The lion reacted quickly and tried to defend itself, but when faced with the immense mouth of the animal and its powerful jaws, it couldn't help but retreat. The video then cuts off, leaving the question of how this confrontation between 2 such imposing forces ended. Now we see a hippo on the bank of a river, surrounded by several buffalo that don't seem to mind it, at least at first. It's unclear how it got into their midst. But suddenly, the hippo decides to walk directly toward one of the buffalo, its determined strides making it clear it means business. The buffalo, realizing the seriousness of the threat, didn't try to face it. It slowly backed away, joining its peers in a corner to feel more protected. The most surprising thing is that the rest of the herd didn't even lift a finger to help it. They all stood back and watched in silence. This is undoubtedly clear proof of the respect, or rather the fear, that even powerful animals like buffalo feel when a hippo decides to show its dominance. Here we see a shark entering the territory of a large hippopod. Confident in its fierceness, the ocean predator ventured toward one of the animals, convinced it could intimidate it, but it made a fatal mistake. Messing with one hippo means messing with all of them. Within seconds, the entire pod noticed what was happening and made a move to charge at the shark. The intruder realized that staying would mean its death sentence, so it turned around and fled at full speed, leaving the water it had invaded behind. Without a doubt, this shark was playing with fire and was one step away from getting burned. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to pay tribute to these incredible battles. Let's move on. Was this lion confused or just acting completely thoughtlessly? In front of it, a huge hippo was sleeping peacefully, with no intention of bothering anyone, but for reasons hard to understand, the lion decided to approach and wake it up. The result was immediate. The hippo opened its eyes in a rage, jumped up, and unleashed its full fury. With a brutal move of its massive head, it grabbed the lion by the jaw and began to toss it around as if it were a simple toy. Hopefully, the lion learned its lesson. A hippo entered the territory of a pride of lions, a place where any other animal would have seen its fate sealed. But this hippo seemed to fear nothing. As it approached, the lions began to harass it from a distance, roaring and stalking it, but none dared to attack it physically. The hippo, self-assured and defiant, was not intimidated and pursued them, making it clear that it was in charge here. In the end, it was clear that the lions had a deep fear of this monster. Here we see a hyena approaching a hippo, resting on its back, a little too confidently. We don't know if it wanted to bother it, try its luck, or just be reckless. But its audacity came at a high price. The hippo felt the touch, immediately turned around, and the hyena was met with a gaze that radiated pure rage. In that moment, it realized the true danger. Without hesitation, it turned and ran away, while the hippo chased it furiously, determined to teach it a lesson. There are some things you just shouldn't touch, and this is one of them. In this video, a leopard with bad intentions approaches a small hippo, probably with the goal of making it its prey. But apparently, the big cat didn't notice that the young one was not alone. Its father was nearby and keeping a lookout. When it turned its head and fixed its gaze on the leopard, the huge hippo let out a deep roar that shook the predator. The frightened cat tried to retreat, but the father was not content with just scaring it. He charged at it and chased it furiously until he had driven it out of the area. One can only imagine what would have happened if the hippo had caught it. We now move to a crocodile resting peacefully on a riverbank, unaware of the danger approaching underwater. A hippo slowly and deliberately emerged from the river and locked its gaze on it. As it reached the bank, the hippo began to harass it bluntly. The crocodile was surprised and tried to take a defensive stance, but it quickly realized that confronting an animal of this size was too risky. Aware of the danger, it chose the only sensible option: flee before the situation got out of control. A leopard was looking for something in the mud. Everything seemed calm and safe. What it didn't expect, however, was that a huge hippo was lying right under the surface, almost invisible. When it noticed the imposing presence of this giant, the leopard was startled and decided to leave quickly. No wonder with that size and power, anyone would be afraid to face a hippo hiding in its own territory. Now, if you've made it this far, you must be a true animal lover like me. So, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the most impressive fights in the animal kingdom. And now, get ready, because what you're about to see will take your breath away. Click on the video on the screen and discover more wild battles. I promise you won't be able to look away and would regret missing it. I'll be waiting for you on the safari.